As a child, you were born in Iraq, and as many of our Assyrian nation immigrated to Iran as a young man, and you lived a few years of your teenagers in Tehran. You and I spoke, and you mentioned that you are the great-nephew of Mr. Benjamin Arsanis.
Yes.
And you had the privilege to grow up and learn and watch Mr. Arsanis. I must say that I wish that I had the opportunity to be by the side of my great-uncle, Dr. Freydun Aturaya. Tell me a little bit about what you learned from Rabbi Arsanis.
I learned a lot.
The first time you put your pen on paper and you started writing your thoughts, what were those first thoughts?
Well,
and now you have written 2 books, and I'd like to talk about that.
yes.
The 2 books, I'm grateful you've brought me a signed copy of each. I'm very excited to start reading those.
You provided the tea, and God bless Assyrians for their tea.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes, bon appetit.
Yeah.
Nani Lochon. Let's talk about your first novel, Will's Music. Tell me, why did you write this book? Why this book and why this topic? Tell us about this book.
Will's Music is set in the world of radio and dance.
And there is a statement in the book that you make, and I agree with this. You say, we start on a road certain of our destination, and somewhere along the way we get stuck on a detour. We all have the situation where we feel that our life has taken a detour. What was your detour, if you care to share with us?
Yes, mine came somewhere along the way.
Many of us don't know what the purpose is, what our purpose is in this world. Many of us just wander this good old earth, not knowing what we're here for. What is your advice for those of us who don't know what our purpose is on this earth?
Reach into your heart.
Thank you. I believe that whatever our heart tells us, whatever is our intuition, we need to learn to listen to that inner voice, that little voice that tells us where to go and what to do. Obie's Opus. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to read this. I'm going to read an excerpt of this from this book. An aging actor called on the composer Jacques Offenbach on the morning of October 5th, 1880. How is he? He asked the servant. Mr. Offenbach is dead, replied the servant. He died peacefully. The actor sighed and said, he will be surprised when he finds out. And that, I had to read it twice to, this is truly a very nice anecdote that you have brought into this book. This is one of many anecdotes and little stories from the world of classical music that you have brought and put together in Obie's Opus. Tell us why this book.
I'd like to do a history of Assyrian music. I really would love to do that. That would take a lot of research, but I'd love to do that.
We as a nation would love to hear your thoughts on the Assyrian music, as we were the first nation who gave the instruments to the world for them to compose such music. I want to move on to Zinda magazine. Those of you who read Zinda magazine online, I'm sure you're familiar with a column called Musing with My Simawar. Takhmaniyati am Simawari. How long have you been with Zinda magazine, and what brought you to them to start writing this column?